Nippon Hoso Podcast Station.
Today we are continuing with K-on. So today's line is 目標は武道館とか言って私たちの軽音部は始まりました。ギターを買うためにみんなでバイトしたり、毎日部屋でお茶を飲んでたくさん喋ったり、麦ちゃんの別荘で合宿したり、入部してくれる1年生を探したり、脇目も振らず練習に打ち込んでたなんてとても言えないけど、でもここが、今いるこの講堂が私たちの武道館です。So in English, when we started the Light Music Club, we said that our slogan was going to be Budokan or Bust. We worked after school jobs together so I could buy Geeta. We had tea in the club room together and talked about everything. We had training camps at Mugi-chan's summer homes and looked for a new student who would join the club. I can't really say we devoted ourselves wholeheartedly to practicing, but right now, for us standing here on this stage, this auditorium is our Budokan, and we'll sing our hearts out to the very end. However, if I get this role, I am ready to bury my bones in the ground of Japan. 本当になんかもう私は将来シンガポールとかカナダに住むのが夢なんですけど、もしこのオーディション合格したら全然日本に骨埋めますみたいなことを私言ったことがあるので、オーディションで Mimicking a little train 電車の音ですね。Anime English Club with Sally Amaki. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 41 of the Anime English Club. I'm your host, Sally Amaki. 今週もよろしくお願いします。There's something I forgot to tell you guys. So I dyed my hair, by the way. Dye is an understatement. I bleached my hair. Saying it very... I'm whispering it to you guys because my manager is right there. I didn't tell her. Bleaching your hair or bleaching my hair in our group is forbidden. Yeah, we're not allowed to bleach our hair. I did it anyway because I wanted to. There is this very popular hair color in Japan called olive beige. And to become that hair color, you needed to bleach it. But it's not as light as my hair right now. If you recall, maybe like 2 months ago, my hair was a bit dark color, but it was still kind of light, you know? That's the kind of color I wanted. But yeah, I bleached my hair without telling anybody. And but I'm just telling you guys, and I'm only saying it in English. All these things that I'm not allowed to do, I basically just say it in English because nobody understands it anyway. But yeah, I think my managers are like catching on. Catching on っていうのは、ちょっとなんか感づいてきてると思うんですけどみたいな感じの時に使ってください。I think they're catching on. They are catching on because every single time I see them, they're like, oh, did your hair become lighter? And I keep going like, I think it's the lighting. ちょっと照明だと思うんですよねみたいな。I think it's the lighting みたいな感じになってきてるんですけど、these days, I don't know, I can't really use that 言い訳ってなんて言えばいいんですか？英語で言い訳ってなんだろう？Yeah, I can't use that excuse anymore. So please give me ways. How does one's hair just become lighter without bleaching it? I can't say I bleached it because it's literally, I feel like it was in the contract that you can't like bleach your hair on your own. I don't know. Maybe it's not in the contract, but even if it was, I shouldn't be telling you guys because in the contract it said, do not say anything that was in the contract. So whoops. Anyway, I'm going to say it might have been, okay, for legal purposes. これもよく使ってください。for legal purposes. はい。for legal purposes っていう、結構冗談で使うことが多いんですけど、なんか、ちょっと冗談で法律に触れそうなことを言ったときに、なんか、ちょっと訂正するときに、まあ法律上の関係でこう言わせてもらうんですけどみたいな感じで for legal purposes 例えば今ずっとババババーって話したじゃないですか。なんですけど最後になんかとかねあったりもしますよねみたいなその法律上の関係でとかねあったりしますよねって言わせていただきますみたいな感じの for legal purposes I'm gonna say this みたいな感じで よく結構冗談の時に使われることがあるので、ちょっとなんか楽しい気持ちになっちゃったら皆さん使ってくださいね。はい。But anyway, let's dive into today's episode. Today, we are continuing with K-on! So K-on! Is an anime series based on the 4-panel manga by Kakifly, which started airing on TV in 2009. It's a lighthearted slice-of-life story about a high school light music club. Slice-of-life story は日常系ってことですね。In our last episode, we looked at a scene right before the school festival.Talked about some useful everyday expressions, and I also shared some of my own guitar stories. Maybe I overshared a bit too much. Hi, so let's dive in. Today is the final episode of the K-on! Series, so let's dive right into it. So today's line is 目標は武道館とか言って私たちの軽音部は始まりました。ギターを買うためにみんなでバイトしたり、毎日部屋でお茶を飲んでたくさん喋ったり、麦ちゃんの別荘で合宿したり、入部してくれる1年生を探したり、脇目も振らず練習に打ち込んでたなんてとても言えないけど、でもここが、今いるこの講堂が私たちの武道館です。So in English, when we started the Light Music Club, we said that our slogan was going to be Budokan or Bust. We worked after school jobs together so I could buy Geeta. We had tea in the club room together and talked about everything.We had training camps at Mugi-chan's summer homes and looked for a new student who would join the club. I can't really say we devoted ourselves wholeheartedly to practicing, but right now, for us standing here on this stage, this auditorium is our Budokan, and we'll sing our hearts out to the very end. So this line is from episode 12. It's the second school festival for the Light Music Club's band, Hokago Tea Time.With their new first-year member, Azusa Nakano, or Azanyang, the 5 of them are all set to go on stage. But just then, Yui realizes she forgot her guitar. She entrusts her part to their advisor, Miss Sawako, and rushes home to get it. The line we're focusing on is from the MC Yui gives on stage after she returns with her guitar mid-performance. Hi.So yeah, she forgets her guitar. I remember my manager once forgot my idol uniform when I went to Kyoto. Yeah, it wasn't even in Tokyo. So 4 out of the, I think, 11 members we had in the past, 4 were chosen to go to Kyoto for this day stage about anime. But she forgot my...Yeah, she forgot my uniform. So I ended up not showing up. I just went to Kyoto for a vacation. And yeah, I was like sightseeing with my other members. But yeah, I remember she was in big trouble, but I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I don't want to go on stage anyway. I love Kyoto just as is. So yeah. So once again, I relate to Yui very much. Anyway, 今回のセリフについて深掘りしていきたいと思います。ではvocab ですね。〇〇 or bust. So Yui is saying Budokan or bust. So this is a set phrase meaning it's so-and-so or nothing, or we're aiming for so-and-so とかですね。だから〇〇か失敗かとか〇〇を目指せ。I would say I use this phrase a lot. I hear this phrase a lot, but people are usually like, it's all or nothing. すべてかゼロかみたいな、もうゼロ100かみたいな感じですね。or bust ってあんま私は聞いたことないんですけど、apparently it's said to originate from California or bust during the 19th century gold rush.I am not a history person. This is just written in the script. I had a D in history in middle school. Yeah, so please do not ask me about the things in the past. But yeah, also apparently, 私がさっき言った apparently っていうのは自分の言葉じゃないけど〇〇らしいよの時に apparently って使ってください。So apparently it originates from California or bust. So Yui is saying it's Budokan or bust. She can also have said it's Budokan or nothing. A similar phrase used a lot by people would be go big or go home. Go big or go home は もう大きく出ないなら帰れみたいな、なんか、やりきらないぐらいなら帰ってくださいみたいな感じの気持ちで Go big or go home みたいな。ただ使うのが結構軽く使われるというか、例えばですけど、if you go to a bar and they have like a small size beer, but for maybe like $2+ you can change it to like a mega jumbo beer, they'd be like, all right, go big or go home みたいな感じの使い方ですね。このちっちゃいビール取るよりも、このちょっと200円課金してこのメガサイズになるなら、もう大きく出ないなら帰れだよねみたいな感じでそんな感じで go big or go home って感じで使うので、ちょっとニュアンスは似てますね。はい。Next is verb plus one's heart out. So for instance, perform my heart out, or speak, or just when it means like to do something with all one's heart and soul. 心の中身をすべて出し切るくらい〇〇します。I'm gonna pull my heart out. はい。だから、なんだろうな、動詞をつけていいんですけど、パフォーマンスこれくらいしますとか、例えば、これくらい話しますとか、動詞をつけていいんですけど、シンプルにI'm gonna なんだろう、I'm gonna pull my なんで使うかな、I'm gonna pour だ。I'm gonna pour 心臓、心をすべて注ぎますっていうので I'm gonna pour my heart out で使ったら結構どんなシチュエーションでも使えます。はい。だからもしこの動詞わかんないなって時にシンプルにでもこんぐらいやる気ありますって伝えたい時は I'm gonna pour my heart out っていうのが一番人気というか一番使われているフレーズですね。I'm gonna pour my heart out。If you want to go one step higher, you can say, I'm going to pour my heart and soul into this. So heart and soul. 魂も心もこれにすべて注ぎますっていうね。I'm going to pour my heart and soul out. I said something similar to this during one of my auditions for a role that I really wanted. I was like, yes, I will, if I get this role, I will pour my heart and soul out into this role. But also, my dream in the future is to live in Singapore or Canada or back in the States. However, if I get this role, I am ready to bury my bones in the ground of Japan. 本当になんかもう私は将来シンガポールとかカナダに住むのが夢なんですけど、もしこのオーディション合格したら全然日本に骨埋めますみたいなことを私言ったことがあるので、オーディションでそんな感じの時にの頭、オープニングステートメント、最初のフレーズとして、つかみですね。As a hook, you can say, I will pour my heart and soul out で使います。Next is devote oneself to something. So dedicating oneself to doing something. 〇〇に専念する。So I guess if you're a high school student studying for your university entrance exam, you would be like, for this whole entire year, I'm going to devote myself to studying. だから、本当何かに専念する。I'm going to devote myself to 何かですね。Next is auditorium. So auditorium is a large hall or building used for public performances like plays and concerts, similar to a school assembly hall. 日本の講堂とか私は行ったことがないんですけど、私のアメリカだとステージがあるんですけど、日本もステージはありますか？ Oh, so it's basically the same. So we would Oh, but they don't have seats like movies ですよね。なんか結構日本のアニメとか見てるとバスケットボールのコートの先にステージがあって、それがなんかアーディトリアムみたいな感じですけど、でもアメリカはそういうバスケットコートは別にあって、ちゃんと劇場みたいな席とステージがあるんですよ。はい。 体育館兼 auditorium ってことですか? Oh, so it's very different. So in Japan, usually in universities, they would have a legit auditorium. But in Japan, up until high school, it would be a basketball court. And then in the very end of that basketball court, they would have a stage and they would call that an auditorium. Yeah. Metal chairs would be lined up. Yeah. And like the morning ceremonies and stuff. But in schools that I went to, they had a legit auditorium, like a literal concert hall. So I guess it varies depending on the school. But yeah, they had a auditorium. Next, wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. That is such a hard word. Wholeheartedly. So it's basically whole and heart put together into one word. So 心を込めてとか誠心誠意みたいな感じなんですけど、この場合 I can't really say we devoted ourselves wholeheartedly to practicing. だからゆいちゃんが誠心誠意毎日部活に向き合って練習したとは言えませんがみたいなことでwholeheartedly って言ってますね。I can't say we devoted ourselves wholeheartedly. How would you? I mean, it's basically as is. There isn't any different other way to say it. But it is a pretty hard word, so I wouldn't really say please memorize it. I'd just say, just keep it in the back of your head. So maybe if you improve more in the future, you can take it out. これ日本語でも頭の片隅に置いてくださいは英語でもそのまま、keep it in the back of your head の頭の後ろに置いてください back of your head って言います。なので wholeheartedly は結構難しいというかあんま使わない全然もっと簡単な他に普通に whole heart you can just say whole heart instead of saying wholeheartedly. So I would just say keep it in the back of your head until you improve more in English and then just pull it out once you're ready to use it. ですね。それまでは whole heart で大丈夫です。Alright, next is pronunciation. So looking at this week's phrase. 目標は武道館とか言って私たちの軽音部は始まりました。ギターを買うためにみんなでバイトしたり、毎日部室でお茶を飲んでたくさん喋ったり、麦ちゃんの別荘で合宿したり、入部してくれる1年生を探したり、脇目も振らず練習に打ち込んできたなんてとても言えないけど、でもここが今いるこの講堂が私たちの武道館です。So in English, when we started the light music club, we said that our slogan was going to be Budokan or bust. We worked after school jobs together so I could buy Geeta. We had tea in the club room together and talked about everything. We had training camps at Mugi-chan's summer homes and looked for a new student who would join the club. I can't really say we devoted ourselves wholeheartedly to practicing, but right now, for us standing here on the stage, this auditorium is our Budokan, and we'll sing our hearts out to the very end. So one more time. When we started the light music club, we said that our slogan was going to be Budokan or bust. We worked after school jobs together so I could buy Geeta. We had tea in the club room together and talked about everything. We had training camps at Mugi-chan's summer homes and looked for a new student who would join the club. I can't really say we devoted ourselves wholeheartedly to practicing, but right now, for us standing on the stage, this auditorium is our Budokan, and we'll sing our hearts out to the very end. So pronunciation tips. Wholeheartedly. Oh, that's so much worse. Wholeheartedly. I guess the diddly part is hard. Diddly. Kind of sounds like Italy. Diddly. Say Italy, but with a D. Diddly. Literally. I need to stop saying literally. It's getting so annoying. Oh my gosh. But yeah. Say Italy. Diddly. Whole heart, Italy, whole heart diddly. There we go. 多分本当に長い言葉は these long words, it's so much easier if you break it down. It's the same for voice actors when they have a lot of words like tongue twister words. They would break down the phrase and say each phrase as its own. So like whole, heart, diddly, diddly, wholeheartedly. It's easier to pronounce a word that's hard to say if you if you adjust your tongue or your tongue muscles to get used to it ですね。本当発音ってもう筋肉の使い方だけなので、それに慣れたらいけるので、もう tongue twisters って早口言葉って言いますか？ So yeah, it's basically like a tongue twister ですね。Next, worked after, the were, right? Worked after. So anytime I feel like when there's a phrase using WOR, were, I would say pretend you have water in your mouth, like were, and you're trying to speak without drooling everywhere. 目の前にちょっとお茶があるんですけど、試してみてもいいですか？ Okay, so right now this is how I would be talking. But if you have something in your mouth and you're trying not to spill it, it would be like, hi everyone, what's up? Good morning. Like your I guess your throat would work like a seagull. ほんとペリカンみたいな感じで、ちょっと顎出すじゃないですか。もはやガマガエルみたいな感じで。そんな感じの were なんかみたいな。なんか口なんか入ってますよみたいな感じの were. So worked after. So I guess this, have something in your mouth, basically water, and practice it. Next is talked about. This talked about, the TA, I would say it basically sounds like the Japanese talked about. 結構他に近いですよね、普通に日本語の。なので、他は大丈夫なんですけど、talked about。どこが難しいですか、日本のあれだと。about。talked。talked about。これはもう、pretend you are mimicking a little train. 電車の音ですね。その時の喉です。talked about. はい。So yeah, I know English is very hard to pronounce, but if you look into your everyday life, I'm pretty sure you use the muscles you use when you speak in English. So just try fitting that into something, and then it'll be a lot easier. Next, looked for. For this, again, drop the D and change the D to a T. It sounds more like a T. Instead of looked, it'll be looked. This kt is also the same as talked. So train, once again, looked for. And the for, I guess the OR, again, is the same as worked after. Pretend there's something in your mouth and really open your jaw. ですね。looked for です。なんか口になんか入ってる感じの開きをしたら or が言いやすくなります。
アニメイングリッシュクラブ with サリー・アマキ。
Now looking at the cultural context. So this scene is from the school assembly, the school festival, so Bunkasai. I might have talked about this in the past, but America doesn't have Bunkasai. We have this thing that's similar. I would say the thing most similar would be Spirit Week. So Spirit Week is basically a whole entire week before the homecoming game in high school. Homecoming game is a football game. アメフトの一番最後の試合ですね。本当花火とか上がる。うちの高校とか花火とか上がってたんですけど、それぐらいもう大きい試合なんですけど、to get ready for that homecoming game, in order to show that you have spirit for this school, every day basically has a different category. So, for instance, Monday would be crazy hair day. Tuesday would be crazy sock day. You know, they'd have a theme for every day, and they'd see like who would dress up, and basically the whole school would get together and dress up in the same way to show that they have school spirit. その本当金曜日の夜にあるアメフトの一番大切な試合のためのなんか1週間5日間かけて一致団結するみたいな。月曜日は変な髪型の日みたいな。もう髪の中にワイヤー入れて、ここからなんか頭のてっぺんから触覚作る方とか、シンプルピンクに染めてくるとか、はい、拘束がない分の、強みだと思うんですけど、そんな感じでなんか学校みんなで着替えてなんか一致団結するんですけど、私はやんなかったですね。天木さんはみたいな感じの言われましたけど、そのやってなかったですね。なかったので、学校のスピリットなんて早くやめたかった。I did not have any spirit for my school at all, so I never did Spirit Week. Elementary school, though, I did do Crazy Hair Day. Yeah, I took pride in what I did in elementary school. Yeah, I don't know where it went downhill, but yeah. I don't know where it went downhill. Downhill もよく使うフレーズなんですけど、どこで人生落ちてったのか分かりませんって時にだからどこでやる気落ちたのか分かりませんとか、なんか本当にどこで落ちたのか分かりませんの時に You know what? I don't know where it went downhill って言います。これをよく私は使いますね。結構自虐ネタの時に使うの楽しいので、ぜひ使ってください。I don't know where it went downhill. Or、it all went downhill from there. もうそこからはもう落ちるのみですみたいな時に It all went downhill って言います。はい。使えます。本当になんか2人の関係はそこから落ちてったみたいな。And after that, you know what? Our relationship, it all went downhill from there みたいな感じですね。はい。Alright, so thank you so much for listening. That is it for this episode of the Anime English Club. In the next episode, we're going to talk about 早々のフリーレン or Free Run Beyond Journey's End. Hi, you can listen to Anime English Club as a podcast and on YouTube, where you can follow along with transcripts and subtitles. You can adjust the speed however you want and listen as many times as you need to get comfortable with English. Listening over and over is really the key to mastering any language. For Japanese and English subtitles, go to youtube.com/@anime-english-club or just search by the title.Also, I would like to apologize. I don't know where, halfway through this program, I bit my tongue somewhere. So my pronunciation is going downhill. It hurts. さっきなんかどこかでわかんないんですけど、どっかでベロ噛んでから発音が悪くなってきました。はい、どっかでなんかね、徐々にね、どん底。It all went downhill. My pronunciation went downhill.But anyway, it's the end anyway. So the Anime English Club wants to hear from you.Please let us know anime you'd like us to cover, or for specific lines, please tell us whose line it is and which episode it's from, or just any general English questions we want to hear from you. So please email us at aec@1242.com. That is aec@1242.com. You can email me in either Japanese or English. メールは日本語でも英語でも大丈夫です。ということで皆さんも私のように軽音部に憧れてふわふわティータイムを想像して軽音部に入るとすんごい痛い目にあるのでね、現実とアニメの違いをちゃんと分かるようにしてくださいね。はい。Not everything in Japan is anime, guys. So, if you come here, you will be faced with reality. なので、ちょっと心構えしてきてください。See you next week. Bye! From the Nippon Hoso podcast station, this is the Anime English Club, hosted by me, Sao Yamaki. This episode was written by Naoki Nakamura, edited by Naoki Yamazaki, directed by Hiroshi Kochi, all from Waltz Inc. Our executive producer is Shiori Tanaka for Nippon Broadcasting System Japan.